Hey, g'day, how you going? Well, today's gig log. What are we going to talk about? I'll tell you what we're going to talk about. Today we're going to talk about the remote control power board. We're also going to talk about messy leads and power cords. And we're also going to talk about this guy, LED triphase. Now this is the Aussie version. It's the same one they have in the UK. We call it the Invincible LED. Now, for those of you that caught on last week's gig log, you would have heard me say that I very rarely turn all the lights on at once. Well, I turned them all on at once last week so you could compare each light and how bright it was. And a couple of you noticed how these things aren't that very bright. So for those that missed it, let's have a look at a quick glimpse of last week's gig log so you know what I'm talking about. That was last week's party. Now let's have a look at this week's party. Much smaller light show, much smaller venue, and we'll see how much better the Invincible LED or the triphase can actually look in a smaller area. So let's go to this week's. Well, g'day guys, welcome to another gig log. Tonight I'm not sure how much filming I'm going to do because it's a 13-year-old girl's birthday party. So I've just finished setting up, about half an hour away from starting. So I thought I'd just show you what I'm using tonight. I've got my uplighting there. 2 on that side, 2 on that side. I would have liked to have put them in each corner, but the doorway is just here, so I can't put one there, and I'm behind there. There's too much shit behind there, so I've put 2 there and 2 there. Now, what else am I using? Just a little show, just one stand. Now up here, what am I using tonight? We've got a star ball. That's what it's going to look like at the other end of the garage. So there's the star ball. What else do we have on the light frame tonight? This is our triphase LED. You'll notice in the last video it didn't look very bright because it was in a massive hall with all the other lights on. When it's by itself, like this, it looks good in a small area, doesn't it? Kids will like that. And this one, we've got our Revo sweep. And can you notice any smoke? You can't, can you? You can't physically see any smoke. All you can see is the beams. That's what you're aiming for. Look at that. Where's the smoke? You can't see it. That's the phaser in action. All you can see is the beams. Speaking of beams, there wouldn't be a Johnny Beck show without the laser. So that's what I'm using tonight. I'm using the multicoloured laser, green, yellow and red. Can't see the red very well on camera. It's much better in real life. So I'm not going to do much filming tonight, but that's what I look like anyway. I'll just show you one more thing. Hang on. Right, there we go. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the messy leads and cords. I want you to try this. I do this at every gig. I'll set up most of the setup without plugging everything in, and I'll call the person over that's paying and I'll say, is it okay if I set up here? I always do that because sometimes they don't realise how large the system is, and I usually have to come out a lot further than most other DJs in the area, so I take up a lot more room. So I always say, well, what do you think? You know, am I right setting up here? Can I plug everything in? And I say, yep, it's fine. plug everything in, turn everything on, call them over again and say, well, there you go, I'm finished setting up, are you happy with that? And they'll say, yes, looks great, you know, and they usually say, oh, I love this DJ setup, it's really nice. And you know me, cords all over the joint. And I'll always ask about the messy leads. I'll say, oh look, do you want me to just tidy up those leads a little bit? Are you worried about that? And they always say, no, I'm not worried about that. They won't see that in the dark, that's alright, don't worry. So, why don't you try that next time? Because honestly, people don't care about messy leads. As long as it's safe, nobody can see them, it's fine. All they want to do is dance. So for me, I save a little bit of time by not piss-farting around tidying up leads. But each to their own, you know, DJs, we're our harshest critics. You know, we want everything perfect, but honestly, the people that are paying, they don't really care. So let's go and talk about the powerboard. Back to the gig. I wanted to show you last week, okay? The remote control powerboard. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4 switches, and one says all off, which is plugged into this powerboard down here. You can see there's no switches on this powerboard because the switch is in my hand. Okay, so it's a remote control powerboard. Now tonight I'm not using very many lights, so star ball is number 1, number 2 was the triphase, 3 was the sweep, the yellow is the lasers. So I can control that with this from up the desk there. I don't have to bend down and turn the switches on and off. Now if I'm doing a bigger light show, you know, if that's a star ball, I would just piggyback another star ball in there. That's the triphase, so I might, you know, just put something else into there to go on with the triphase. And that's a sweep, you know, whatever I want to plug in on top. They're all piggyback leads. Now normally with normal lights you wouldn't do that, but because LED are using bugger all power, you know, some of them are using 3, 5, 10 watts. And this thing, what do they take? 1400, 200, 2500 watts or something like that? 10 amps, so you can just pile those piggyback leads right up there. Look, it looks messy, but no one gives a rat's, honestly. I wish people would stop telling me about how messy my leads are. It does not matter how messy the leads are. Right, so there it is. This is a newer one. The other one I actually painted black on the back so I could hang it up on the trussing and you wouldn't see it. This one is all white. So yes, I double checked on the back there, 2400 watts, 10 amps. So you can plug a lot of lights into these things. Now this is a click. I don't know, I guess brands vary from country to country, but this is a click. I got this at a hardware store, AMC's favourite DJ shop. Just ask him where that is. But anywhere else in the world, I don't know where you'd buy them. But like I say, I bought this at a hardware store. So basically go to anywhere that sells power boards and ask them if they have one that's remote controlled. I've never seen one anymore with more than 4 outlets. I've only ever seen a 4-way. It would have been nice to get like a 6 or something like that. It would have been good for me. But what I sometimes do, and why I have 2, is you can actually program the switches so this one is on a different frequency than the other. So I've basically got 8 separate controls, and what I'll sometimes do is plug a shitload of lasers in this one, take it over to the other side of the room, and then I can control them from my side of the console, obviously. And the same with LED lighting. I could set up you know, up lighting around the garage, for example, and control it with one power remote control, and the other one will do the lights behind me. So that's why I've got 2. Look, they're about 45 bucks Australian, so pretty cheap. Most used piece of DJ equipment I've ever bought. So that is the power board. That's all I've got for you today. Hope you enjoyed the gig log. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Practice and enjoy.